All right, let's get right into it. We're talking about a journey from feeling like a hostage to your own emotions to becoming the maestro of your own mind. It's really about taking the conductor's baton and leading your feelings instead of just letting them drag you around.
So let me just ask you straight up. Do you ever feel like a hostage to your own emotions? You know that feeling when a sudden wave of anger or frustration just takes over and suddenly you're not the one in the driver's seat anymore? If that sounds familiar, you're definitely in the right place.
And look, this isn't some big abstract concept. It shows up in very real, everyday situations. Think about it for a second. Getting stuck in traffic and letting that one thing completely poison your entire day. Or bringing all that stress from work home and accidentally snapping at the people you care about most. Maybe it's that feeling of walking on eggshells around someone, just terrified of saying the wrong thing. These are all just symptoms of the same problem. Our emotions are calling the shots. So let's start with a diagnosis. Before we can even think about becoming the maestro, we really have to understand what it means and, more importantly, what it feels like to be a hostage to our emotions. Here's the bottom line. It's as simple as this. When your emotions are dictating your actions, you are not in control. You're just reacting. It's the difference between being the captain of the ship, steering through a storm, and just being a piece of driftwood getting tossed around by the waves. But here's the good news. There is a way to take back control of the ship. And the key, the absolute game changer that gets us there, is emotional intelligence. And what we're really aiming for, our goal, is something called emotional stability. Now let's be super clear here. This does not mean being cold or emotionless. Not at all. It's the ability to stay calm and resilient, to regulate your feelings and choose how you act, especially when things get messy. It's all about finding that inner balance. And I love this analogy for explaining how these two ideas work together. Think of emotional stability as your destination. That's the peaceful, balanced state you want to live in. Well, emotional intelligence, that's your vehicle. It's the whole set of skills, the tools you use to actually get yourself there. So what's this vehicle made of? What are the core parts of emotional intelligence? Well, it breaks down into a few key pillars. It all starts with self-awareness, just knowing what you're feeling and why. Then you have self-regulation, managing those feelings instead of letting them manage you. And it also includes things like empathy, self-confidence, and tolerance for stress. And the best part? These are not things you're just born with. They are all skills you can build and get better at. Okay, that's enough of the theory. Let's get practical. Let's talk about the actual tools you can use, the steps you can take to start building that balance in your own life, starting right now. I saw this in a discussion online, and it's just so simple and powerful. Someone asked for a sign of a truly emotionally stable person, and the answer was, they still get angry, sad, or stressed, but they don't lash out. They process, then respond. That little space, that pause between the feeling and the action, that's where all the power is. That's control. And it all has to start right here, with self-awareness. It is the absolute foundation of everything else. You simply can't manage what you don't even notice. This is about becoming an honest observer of your own inner world, your triggers, your habits, your go-to reactions. It's about asking, okay, what's really going on inside me right now?
So how do you actually do this in the heat of the moment? Here's a super simple 3-step process. First, recognize. Just name the emotion. Say to yourself, I am feeling angry. And then what was the trigger? It's because my idea was just ignored. Step 2, and this is the most important one, pause. Just for a second, take one deep breath. That creates that little magic space we were talking about. And then step 3, respond. Don't just react on instinct. Choose a calculated, reasonable action. That's you taking the control back.
What's really cool is that this shows that emotional stability isn't just about handling a crisis. It's built through small daily habits. Things like just practicing mindful breathing for a minute a day, actively asking yourself, wait, why am I about to do this? Or trying to genuinely see where the other person is coming from, learning that it's okay to say no to protect your own energy. These small, consistent things are like going to the gym for your emotional muscles. So, what's the payoff here? What does a life with more emotional stability actually look like? And what does it feel like? Let's talk about the reward for all this work.
So what does this look like in the real world?
Well, stable people can admit when they mess up and say sorry. They can take criticism and see it as useful feedback, not a personal attack. They're consistent. What they say and what they do actually line up. And check out that last point. They build a mental buffer. It's like they have this built-in shock absorber that helps them handle life's little bumps without getting thrown completely off course. They don't run from conflict. They know how to resolve it. At the end of the day, so much of this really just comes down to self-perception. Are you looking in the mirror and only seeing your flaws, your insecurities, your past emotional mistakes? Or can you start to see the potential for grace, for strength, for balance that is already inside you? Because the way you see yourself fundamentally changes how you act and what you truly believe is possible. So if there is just one thing you take away from all of this, please let it be this. Being emotionally stable is not about trying to suppress your emotions or not feel anything. It's about feeling everything, the anger, the joy, the frustration, but not letting those feelings dominate you. It's about you being the maestro, conducting the orchestra of your emotions to create the life you actually want, instead of just being a passive listener to all the chaotic noise. So I'll leave you with this final thought. After everything we've gone over, what is the one small first step that you will take today to start moving from being the hostage to becoming the maestro of your own emotions? Thanks for joining me.